Joining us now with more on the story and on the rise of sports collectibles is Caitlin Donovan, Global Head of Sales at Joopiter, a digital auction house founded by Grammy Award winner Pharrell Williams. Caitlin, tell us about these sneakers and, why a pair of shoes has the potential to fetch $10 million.
These shoes are culturally significant for so many reasons. They changed NBA history as we know it. This was the introduction of the Kobe 6, which is still the single most worn style sneaker in the NBA. Kobe Bryant, his legacy it continues on. And what he did for both basketball and for sneaker history, it's just his legacy will continue forever. But these shoes are maybe the most famous pair of sneakers in history, and they were worn once by Kobe Bryant. And that one time, that one pair is the pair that we're selling. So this is really the genesis object of a cultural phenomenon that took place.
So we were talking about collectibles as an alternative investment. What are some of the key characteristics that people look for when they purchase a collectible with the expectation for it to appreciate?
Of course. So provenance is obviously deeply important. Photo matching has really changed how and what we think of sports collectibles. The ability to photo match to a single moment or game is exceptional. So these shoes being matched by my gray makes them even more special. But I think that when we look back or forward, we're going to see that the rise in the collectible market is more similar to fine art or historical objects, artifacts. And so we're seeing these items that people maybe 20 years ago would have said $10 million for a pair of sneakers. I think that in our near future, we'll see $100 million for items that have this historical significance.
What do people usually do with these collectibles? Because at least with a pair, with art, you would hang it on your wall and you'd look at it all the time. I mean, do they put them in like a protective box and still put it on the wall? Or is it one of those things that's kept in a safe and just let appreciate over time? Or, what do people usually do with it?
As a specialist, I always hope that the beautiful items or the special items we sell are for everyone to enjoy. These shoes in particular, Kobe Bryant had such a lasting impact on Los Angeles, on the Lakers, where he was his entire career. So, my hope is these shoes get to be, and items like this get to be enjoyed by the community that really supported and made them famous. I think these shoes are absolutely beautiful. Maybe I'm a little...
No, they're gorgeous
shoes. They're incredible. They're green. They're vibrant, the pattern on them. So I hope that they're available for everyone to see and be displayed.
Are they being sold from Kobe Bryant's estate? Is it Nike? I mean, who
It's a private client that owns them. Kobe Bryant was really special in that after games, he would often give away items to people on his teams, to ball boys, signed. So, Kobe Bryant, he wanted his items to kind of have this enduring legacy.
As you see the rise of collectibles, is it taking money out of other places that might, if you're selling $10 million for a pair of shoes, does that mean less money that goes toward other places that, historically would have fetched higher prices?
What I think is fun is seeing people who weren't historical sports collectibles collectors really join. The thing about sports is so emotional and personal. You remember where you were on December 25th, 2010, when Kobe wore these sneakers against, the big three, the Heat versus the Lakers. So I think that we're going to see more people who are not traditional sports collectors investing in items like this, but there is plenty of categories to go around. So,
Caitlin, are there your clientele in terms of the buyers? Are there new classes of buyers out there? There are crypto fortunes that didn't exist, and well, a bit less now, but there's still crypto fortunes. There are AI fortunes out there. Are there new classes of bidders out there that you're finding that weren't involved in this sort of thing before?
Absolutely, and I think sports collectibles is an incredible collectible market for people who are not traditional, maybe art collectors or fine jewelry collectors to go into, because like I said, sports are personal to a lot of people, to everyone. So I think we're seeing more and more people invest in sports collectibles that weren't traditional auction house collectors, but also Kobe Bryant himself, it's very global. His legacy is not just in LA, it's not just in America, but we see a lot of interest in China, across Europe, in the Middle East. So I'm excited to see who comes in for these really special shoes.